So hey guys, hope you're doing great. So we had a technical issue back then, so couldn't able to connect at the right time. So let's start without any further ado. So today we'll be start talking about Cognizant, how they do the internship and how do you get inside and what do you do after getting inside and what can you expect from them in terms of studying with technology or what you can expect basically. Okay, so let's start. So let me quickly introduce myself and then we'll begin. Okay, so myself, Santosh, and I'm working as a program analyst trainee with Cognizant, and I also do some freelancing work. So I have done past couple of months with a lot of freelancing works, and it is going quite well. Since Cognizant has some restrictions or we have been picked up late, so I've been doing freelancing work a bit. So this really good. So you can, if you want some freelancing work, and there are a lot of things that you can do with freelancing work, and if you want to do stuff and then you can learn a lot by doing so, that is a free platform like kind of a thing where you can learn and do stuff for you will directly put something in the production, right? So you won't go with stages, and you will directly put something in the production and it will go to the market directly. So that is how it goes. So let us start. So we'll first cover up first things first. So if you have any questions, feel free to post that in the chat, so we'll take up at the end. So let me finish whatever I was planned, so we'll do that and then we'll take up your questions. Okay, so first, so if you're got selected with Cognizant, a very heartful congratulations for getting into Cognizant. So mostly you will be retained, so don't worry, you don't have to worry about going out or you want to search some other job after attending the intern. So if you're attending a full-time intern, it is 95 to 90 to 95 percentage, I would say, you will definitely get into Cognizant, so you don't have to worry about that. So the thing is that if you are like someone who wants to do stuff hands-on, or you just want to chill out, and after getting out of college you want to be in the same state, like in your comfort zone, this is a good company, I would say. But when you come to when you have some passion towards technology and you want to build something, so when you come with that perspective, I think you won't be suited with Cognizant. So this is a service based company and everyone knows what they do, and what can you expect from a service base, so everything is the same. So I would say when starting off as an intern, it is a very great platform that you can start off. You will, if you are coming from another background, let's say if you are not a CS or IT guy, you have a background of, let's say, electronics, or you have a background of civil mechanical. So that those are the platforms, or those are the people who will be getting into tech for the first time, and for those people it is a very great platform that you can leverage. But if you're already into coding and then you want to build something, then you won't learn much in those interns. So if you are from those kind of categories, I would highly recommend that you attend the full-time intern, or else you can go with this CSD. So you will get a short time, or you can do it virtually, you don't have to go. But even the full-time intern, I think this time will be more of a virtual mode. So I think that will be more of this time. It will take some time, since we had, I got into Cognizant, last December 7th, 2019. So I got the full time job on this December 2nd. So you have to wait a lot, since this COVID, pandemic has been disrupting everything. So it has even disrupted our intern. So we continued our intern virtually, and then we have completed our project virtually too. And they have to, the one thing that they keep on suggesting it to keep learning. So you will learn somehow, and you will learn in most of the times you have to learn new things. So you won't go the world tech, so you will always nourish yourself with new and new techs. and you will come up with new ideas and you'll build cool projects. So that is another thing that you can do. And the next off, when you start intern, just the day one or day two. So day one, you will have some first day programs. You will have they will explain you about what is the intern structure, and those things you will learn, and you have to fill some documentations kind of a thing. You have to sign certain things. You will be given the intern letter, and those kind of things will happen. So after that, you will go to day two, and from day two you will be put into some kind of an academy thing. Okay, so when you start of the first day, you will there are certain locations where you have this academy team, sorry, the academy, the training place and the office environment. So you have both in the same building or maybe adjacent or nearby. So there are certain places which the training place is somewhere else, and the entire other campuses is somewhere. So you have to keep in that in mind. So it won't disturb you much, but if you are inside the campus, or if you are into Cognizant campus on people working there, and you will get a more you can just ask them what they do, and you can have a conversation and see what you can kind of do, and you can learn more if you are there. But if you're even in the academy side, you will have just your friends and you just have yourself, so you won't learn much in those kind of places. But you can always explore. You can ask your mentors to have you will have a lot of mentor connects, and you will have a lot of leaders coming in and talking to you. You can ask your queries, and what is the tech what is the new tech that is going to come up, or you can ask anything. So they will come. But this time, since you are going in a virtual mode, I think it will be more of a difficult for you guys to cope up with all these things. But it will be a good experience if you had in a physical place where you go, and you will feel the difference from the college side, and what you do in college, and you will definitely feel the difference when you go inside the academy. So, and you will go undergo another change when you go inside the full time. So when you go to full time, you will feel another change. You need to take up some additional responsibilities, and you'll have a different environment to work with. So those are the two different things. And from day two, you have another assessment. So I get a lot of questions on what did the assessment do, and is the assessment easy or difficult, or what exactly they do in the assessment. So I have been getting a lot of questions on this part. So let me brief you out on this thing. So for us, we had this assessment. So what they call, I'm not sure what they call it now. So they had like a preliminary assessment or something. So they, since most people were from other backgrounds, say they didn't have any tech background, say they didn't take up this assessment. So we had like 50 handful of people took up this assessment, and they become, if let's say, if those people are put into good tech stack, and all you guys are put into testing or something else, so will that be fair for them to assess only 50 people, and rest of the people? So that was the situation for them. So they, what they did was, they, I think they put it no totally random. So it was way back last year. I think it is more matured. The process is more matured this time. So you will have another transparency of what they do. But we didn't have anything. So you will have a better transparency when maybe this time. So we have given a lot of feedbacks previously. So you will get a lot more good experience when it comes to picking up the tech stack. So you cannot pick the tech stack basically. So they will be assigning you based on the BU no, business unit, they would say. And mostly when it is your thing, right? So when it comes to tech stack, you want to learn something. Let's say you are interested in Python. Okay, you want to learn more about Django, and go with Python, and you are put into ASP.NET or RJava. Okay, so I was put into ASP.NET, so it was very difficult for me to catch up with both the things. And I was a Python guy, and I used to do everything in Python. So to learn ASP.NET and implement things, it was cool, but it was not difficult though, since I already have an experience with Django. It was not difficult though, but the thing is that I like to work on Python, but they put me in ASP.NET. So, but I learned C sharp and this ASP.NET MVC, and you have tons of things to learn. But the only thing is that you cannot stick with some technology, some framework. So you have to change drastically. So when first Java came out, nobody has expected some other language would take away or take up Java and it will go further. So now we have Python, we have JavaScript, we have TypeScript, and there are tons and tons of languages are coming out, like the new emerging language Kotlin. So if you haven't heard about Kotlin, please do a quick Google search and get to know what is Kotlin, and that is the next step forward. So there are a lot of texts coming out. So the one thing that you can do is learn the flow. So when I say about the flow, let's consider. So if you are interested in web development, okay, so the framework may be different, the server may be different, and what is the file protocol and everything can be different, but the cycle or the flow from what you enter in the browser and what is the back end doing, what is the front end doing, so those kind of processes will be the same. So you can never change the process of let's say the URL being typed and the usage of URL and the query strings. So you can never change that. So those kind of things will never change, and the flow and other things will be the same. So instead of learning some tech, you kind of learn those flows. So that is the good advice, or I think that is a good advice for people who say like, I wanted to work on this, and they put me in this, and I cannot work on something else. This was my interest, and they put me in something else, so I cannot work. So you cannot say that excuse since you are getting into corporate. So if even if you are like after maybe 5 to 6 years you are experienced Python guy, and if there is some requirement from the client side, let's say uh, client wants something from Java or something from ASP.NET or something from Ruby on Rails. So you have to fulfill their requirement. You cannot say that we don't have expertise or we don't have people working on Ruby. So you have to make people who are uh, hands-on on Ruby, or you have to train them on Ruby and then deploy. So if you learn something, if you have learned something additional, let's say I learned Ruby in Cognizant Intern, and my passion is Python. So I would be the opt guy for that kind of situation where the client asks for a Ruby guy and nobody knows Ruby in my team. So only I or maybe few handful of people know about Ruby, or they have done development in Ruby. So those kind of situations you have to face, and during those kind of situations, what you can do is you can step up and say that I have some experience in Ruby and development in Ruby, so I can take up this project or I can take up this module. So those are the different things that you can do, and mostly you can cherish in any field when you uh, get the grasp of the underlying you know projects or underlying things of web development. So that's about web development and what is the first assessment that you do. And next coming when you start training, so from maybe day 2 or day 3 you will start your regular training process. Once you have been assigned to a domain, like we have different domains based on the locations. I'm not sure about the north side. I know they have different domains on the north. I know since we had in the virtual conversation, I was going through the webex links, so we had different domains on for the different locations. So if you are in maybe in Kolkata or Noida or in Pune, you will have some different domains included. And if you are in south side like Bangalore or Chennai or Coimbatore, you have something different. So that depends on the BU on which location that you belong. So that's basically it. And then when it comes to after you are being assigned to a domain, you will have weekly and monthly tasks. So when you start off, you will be given some procedures that you have to follow and you have to complete. So one thing that you will be given is the Udemy access. So that is the only thing that you can leverage, and you can use it to the most of your time, since it is completely free, and you can choose any course from Udemy. So that is the great thing that Cognizant offers you. You can watch endless number of videos on Udemy and enrich your knowledge. So on any given topic, you just do a search on Udemy, you will get the perfect course. No, it is completely free, and I don't think many companies do that, and Cognizant does that, and I'm really happy that Cognizant is doing that. So you can learn almost anything, any tech, and Udemy, right? So you need to pay a lot of money to learn, but you are getting this for entirely for free when you join as an intern. Like, maybe you will get the access within 2 to 3 weeks after you join in. So it is completely free, and you can, I'm not sure 2 to 3 weeks, but you can get even in a single week, I'm not sure. So that is the great thing that you can get out of this platform, or the internship that you are undergoing with Cognizant. So another great thing that you will encounter is, you will be taught some kind of you will have coaching in email and other activities. You will have some kind of training going on, and those will really help you a lot. So when you don't come from a, you know I would say, some other tier colleges, so I'm not degrading others, but let's say you are not aware of those kind of things. Okay, so you haven't been exposed to those kind of things. Okay, so you will be taught from the scratch. So everything starts from the scratch, so you don't have to worry about anything. So as I mentioned previously, if you're coming from another background, not from CS and IT, and this is the intern that you have to attend, you will go from the scratch, and you will go to the top. So that is basically it. You will have a lot of great time learning things and implementing things. You will have a lot of regular test, and you will have like a platform for hacker rank. You will have a platform which can assess you. So you will have a lot of things going on, and you will be assigned some trainers, SMEs, you can ask your queries and clarify your doubts if you have any. And I think that's mostly what you will do after joining. So you have periodic test, and you have daily task that has to be done, and you will be monitored throughout, and you have your coaches who will be guiding you throughout this process. So you don't have to worry about anything. You just go there and give your best, and express yourself. So that is the you will have lot of fun activities. We had a lot of fun activities, so you will definitely have a lot of fun activities on day one and day two. So when you join on day one, you will have some fun activities, and on day two you will have another fun activity in your academy team, with your academy team. So you'll have a great time in doing intern. Since it is virtual mode, I think you won't get the same experience that we had. So you will get an experience, but this time it is really difficult for anything, for companies to take up. It is difficult for companies to cope up with this pandemic. So there are a lot of companies doing layoff, and I don't think Cognizant is doing any, and it won't do any in the future as well. So that you will get a great experience though. And then coming to the next couple of weeks, where you will have some intense training. Okay, so when you start off with the first month, you will have some daily tasks, you will be completing those, and you have some assessment at the end of every module. Let's say you are taking up C sharp, and you will have, after completing those modules, you will have another assessment on completely on C sharp, like 4 hours to 6 hours of coding. Okay, so you have to complete that. You have to secure a certain percentage, and then you will with they have a scoring mechanism. You need to score these many points to uh, picked up by Cognizant at the earliest. So let's say X person gets 800 points in his complete 8 months of intern, sorry, 4 months of intern, 4 to 5 months of intern, and another person Y is getting just 600 points. Okay, so after completing his intern on maybe on June or on April, the the guy who has scored 900 points will be the first one to get the full-time offer. Like he might get it on October or November in the regular situation, but with this pandemic it is difficult for companies to give too many offers, so they will collect you in batches and you will be put into uh, different BUs. Okay, so that's it for separation of people and putting into the BUs. So you will have those kind of steps. So I don't think that is pretty much you need at this time. So you just need to concentrate on your intern, gather a lot of knowledge. You will have a lot of free time as well, so Saturdays and Sundays are off, so you can have a lot of fun time, since you have a your full freedom. You don't have to report to anyone. You're not a college student anymore, so you have a lot of freedom to do what you want. And even if you're you are not from a background that is CS or IT background, you will have people encouraging you to learn a lot. So you have the freedom to learn anything. So once you complete, if I am interested in Python, I would say, and I have completed the C sharp module before 2 days. Okay, so for the remaining days, what you can do, you can do your Python coding, or if you want to learn something additional, you can definitely do that. So there is no one stopping you. So those kind of advantages you have with this intern. So I highly recommend that you go through this full-time intern. You have some virtual intern kind of a thing coming up, so you will get a good experience, I would say. Okay, so I think that's it from me. So we will move on to the questions then. So I get a lot of questions on this uh, difficulty of the questions in the first assessment. So it won't be difficult, so I would say the pattern. So if I remember correctly, I'm not sure. So you will have some SQL queries. It will be very basic, so you don't have to you don't be a master in that. It will be very basic, and you will have some programming in Java or C sharp. So that's it, the pattern. So you'll have two programs or one, I'm not sure. You will have one or two programs, logical, it will be very easy. So if you are from CS and IT, you will definitely crack it. And for other backgrounds, it is a little difficult. So I won't say, I would put that in the easy to medium category. So it will be easy, like if you are into coding and if you have solved problems on hacker rank and hacker earth or lead code, it will be more easier for you to cope up with, and you can easily crack those no problems. So it won't be much difficult. So that is the only part that I keep on getting questions on. So moving on to the chat. So when internal start for 2021 batch. So it is difficult for me to say. So I'm not sure when they would, since it is already late for you guys, since we started our intern last year. Okay, last year on December 7th. So you are just getting into, you just got the confirmation that you are selected by Cognizant right now. So it is already late, and the December is gonna end, and you might expect on mid to end of Jan. So that is my kind of I would say that it depends upon the location that you have been chosen, or it depends upon a lot of things. It depends upon the requirement, since we are still learning, so we didn't get any projects as of now. So you have to wait for a lot of time after getting your full-time job as well. Like after you are deployed, or after you got your full-time offer, you have to wait 3 to 4 months to get into a good project. Okay, so some are too lucky, they will get into a project as soon as they enter as a full time. So you, some may not, so you have to wait and see your luck. And if you do well in projects, you will have a special project at the end. So if you do that well, and you will be taken up by the things easily. Okay, so we have another question. Not sure what's your name, man. So I think the question was, I'm not sure. I think he's gonna retype this thing. Okay, I think we don't see any questions. So another question I was getting, I'm not sure. Let me see my LinkedIn page. So Whether I get my preferred location. Yeah, you will get your preferred location, but for full time, most of them I know got their preferred location. So even I got Bangalore. So you will get your preferred location. As a full time employee, I'm not sure of the intern, since some colleges might want students to go near nearby location. So that depends upon your college, but if college allows, you will be put into preferred locations. That is for sure. So since I got Bangalore, I'm no most people got the same. So most people got their preferred locations even in the full time. So intent doesn't matter, man. Intent doesn't matter where you go with the location. So only the full time it matters a lot, since you will be exposed to different technologies. If you go to Pune and Bangalore, you have a lot of things in ANML. So that depends upon your location. So the projects depends upon your location. So that is the easiest thing that you can do, like prefer location, put it in a good place like Pune or Bangalore. So it helps you a lot. Even after your Saturdays and Sundays are off, as I said, so you can go to a lot of meetups and get a lot of knowledge out there. You can interact with your colleagues, or you can even you know there are a lot of meetups. If you know that TensorFlow user group is there, uh, GDC is there, and cloud developers is there. In Google, you have ton of things. You have Facebook, Amazon. There are a lot of groups you can join in, and you can definitely improve when you go out to people and reach out. So that is the only thing that you can do. I hope that answers your question. So preferred location, you will definitely they would say that we thought that we would get the preferred location, but we didn't. So the entire college was put into the location nearby. So that depends upon your college, and no, it depends basically. So for the full time, you can put your preferred location as Bangalore or Pune. So those are my preferred ones. So if you are going into, or if you want to learn and deep dive into machine learning and AI, or if you want to go to other domains, you are certain locations have only maintenance or testing projects. So you won't learn much with those. So if you want to chill out, you can go with that as well. So you don't have to worry about those. So let me check. So we have another question: what kind of tech I can learn before joining into? So yeah, I really forgot to address this thing. So a ton of people another time asked me, like, what is the thing that I have to learn before going into intern? So you don't have to learn anything. So you basically go out fresh. You grasp everything. So you will be taught from the basic. You won't be taught, you will be doing self learning. So you will be taught from the scratch. So if you want to get an idea, you see the domains or not the ones that you choose. So you cannot choose your domain. So they have a process which was not transparent with us, but it might be pretty transparent for you guys. You can see through what is going on and why you are put into this domain. So domains are pretty much, or they assign. So you cannot do anything with the domains. But the one thing that you can do, as I said, you prefer language, or if you are doing Python, so keep doing with Python. You don't have to worry about what languages I have to learn. You don't have to basically learn anything. So if you are doing Python already, if you know Python, improve your Python language. So that's it. You don't have to switch to anything. Once the domain is fixed, like you will get the domain in a week. Okay, after joining intern, you will get the domain in a week. So after joining or after getting your domain, you have to definitely concentrate on that particular domain. So you will be concentrating only on your domain. So once you get the domain, you can start with whatever you prefer. Okay. So once you, if your domain and your interest is the same, you are so lucky and you can proceed. Or else you have to manage yourself. You have to study another language. Let's say in my case it was Python and ASP.NET. So I prefer Python, but they put me in ASP.NET. So that was really difficult for me, but I learned ASP.NET. I completed a project, freelance project basically. So that helped me a lot in doing the freelance project. So I never expected someone will use ASP.NET for their production level. So that did help me. So the learning will never be wasted, man. So you will feel that if you learn something, you need to apply it. So if you learn ASP.NET, or if you learn any technology or any web framework, you need to push something into the production. You will face a lot of things when it comes to production. So in development you won't see anything. So you will just even if a couple of friends, you share your links and you connect with the same network, and you use your web application and test it, you won't feel any change. When it goes to production, that is the real challenge, and that is the real world scenario that you will be facing. Okay, so those are the things that you can do. And prefer coming to your preferred language. So I would never suggest you to stick with any language. So when you stick with a language, the problem is, so when Java came out, as I think I have said this earlier, so when Java came out, nobody has ever expected that Java is can be substituted, or Java can be beaten up. Okay, Java is not beaten up actually, but it is less pronounced now. Python is coming up, and there's Kotlin coming up, and there are a lot of other frameworks coming up, and languages gonna come up in the next few years. So you cannot do everything with a single language. So you need specific things to be done in specific language. Okay. So when it comes to language preference, I would say that you will have the basics of in any language. So if you're if you're learning Python, okay, you start with the basics, you climb up, and you complete the entire language. You cannot completely learn everything, but try to reach the maximum. Okay, when you start with Python, you try to reach the maximum of the language. Okay, whatever the courses that you take, or whatever the materials that is available on the internet, try to go through everything, and try to push yourself, and grasp everything on single language. Once you grasp everything in the single language, it is just a syntax. You just need to learn the syntax of the language and keep proceeding. So I don't think that you would have any kind of problem with catching up with the syntax, and going ahead. So that is the easiest thing that you can do. So you don't have to stick with any language. You can just proceed with the take a one language, pick it up, and you put your entire effort into that, and go to the highest level that you can reach, okay, on the given time frame. And then you can switch languages. It is not a you know let's say if there is a client, so I am working on Python and Django, okay, as of now, the freelance project. When a client comes and asks me that, hey Santosh, I want a project in Ruby on Rails, or I need a project with Java Spring Boot. Okay, so I cannot say no, right? I have to learn that, I have to do that, or else I have to give it to another person. Okay, so you cannot say to a client that I'm not able to switch, or I'm not able to adapt. So once you learn a particular framework, let's say I know Django. Okay, so once you learn a particular framework, the other frameworks will be more or less similar. The only the flow or the syntax are there are key changes that you will have for each and every framework. You will have pros and cons of each framework. So you have to just tweak those things, and then uh, you know start your development. So that is the easiest thing that you can do, since this is a changing world, and people expect if you go to any company site, they won't keep a language specific barrier for anything. They would when you read some job descriptions on any tech big tech companies, okay, so they want people with Java, or if you have prior knowledge with Java, it is good. If you have prior knowledge with Django, it is good. So they will just prefer that if you have additional languages in hand, that is an added advantage. So you never know, the client would be asking on Java or Python. Okay, so you have to adapt to that. So since you have that kind of real world problem, so you have to definitely adapt to what people say. Okay, so that is the thing for the language preference and the tech. So you don't have to learn anything, and you can just go ahead, and you can start from scratch. So you can start from scratch. So you can learn from the scratch if you want to relearn things, and that is a good place to start as well. So I think that answers your question. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop. I think I covered most of the part. I'm not sure. Let me check my LinkedIn page again. Since I got a lot of questions, now I thought of doing this live. Since most people are keep on asking the same questions, right? So I tried my best to answer those, when couple of days, but I was pretty exhausted. So keep on repeating my same, and people kept on asking the same thing. So is passport required for? Okay. So in the documentation thing, yeah, I think the passport is, it is not mandatory, but you have to submit your passport. So it is good to have your passport in hand, since you never know what you have in your doorsteps. Okay, so it is, it doesn't cost you that much. So you can, you definitely need a passport when you don't definitely need a passport when you join. I'm not sure, but it is, handy that if you have it, it is pretty handy. When they ask for passport or other, background verification, you will have other, documents that has to be submitted. So it will come handy when those times. So you don't have to rush to the, passport office. You don't have to apply for, takala or something else. You can directly give your passport, and you can get the document approved. So you can do those kind of things, man. Passport, driving license or election card, and those kind of things are, it is like a mandatory for, when you come out of your college, you have to change, right? So those are the little changes that you can, easily do. Okay. Okay, does Chennai, okay, we have a question. So does Chennai and Coimbatore have Java full stack domain and projects? For a dev role, what to select as preferred location? High probability of okay, so as I said, for if you want to get into development, you can prefer Bangalore and Pune. So if which is, near, you can, put that. Since, there are many projects. Let's say Coimbatore, I'm not sure it is full of, testing thing. So I would never prefer Coimbatore as my location. So you can go for Bangalore or Pune. I think that would be my preferred choice. Explain about the package, what will be enhanced salary. So salary thing, okay, so the intern, I'm not sure what you will get. So they would say that they would give you 12k. Okay, 12k for this intern, and you will have, I'm not sure about the package that you have been offered. For me it was 4 for the first year, and 4.4 for the from the second year. Okay, so packages you will get, in hand, 10.8 10.8k. Okay, so the 1200 is, you have to fill a form called form 60, and you have to submit it to the income tax office. So they you will get the returns, in your account. So you have to do that extra job to get that, 1200 every month. So every month they would, they won't, they would get the 1200. You have to get it with the IT returns. So that is the one thing for packages. And for the full time, you can expect from 26 to 25. So that is uh, the maximum that you can expect for 4 lakhs. For 4 lakhs you can expect 35 to, sorry, I am not sure. Sorry, I did I say 36? No, it would be 25 to 26. 25 to 26k. And you will have a life insurance as well for for yourself, and for 3 other family members, like your father, or your father, mother, and maybe your, if you are married, you can have, apply for, or you can add your spouse as well. So those are the, advantages you have with, uh, you know the package that you get. So most, in startups you won't get these kind of, uh, advantages. So Cognizant does that. I hope that answers your question in hand. So try to, be it in 2 to 3 years and switch. So that is one thing that I would say. So you can switch anyway, but um, I would switch anytime. I'm not sure. So I didn't get any other companies, man. Hardly. So I did try for few. I did try for few. I applied for Sony. I applied for SAP. So a lot of companies, but uh, no, it is something that it is personal to me. So when you apply for companies and you don't get response, it is kind of difficult. But certain companies call you immediately. So I think it was last month. Last month, I applied for National Instruments. Okay, NI. So no, I applied for it on June. I'm not sure, June or July. Okay, so they sent me a mail. Last a month ago. Okay, they told me to fill Google Sheet where you will you have to fill some why you want to join this company, and you have the basic stuff. And there was this section where you have to let them know that uh, is you had your curriculum with data structures or not, and how would you rate yourself with data structure. So I don't know any data structures. I am not sure. uh, so most companies, most big tech companies expect data structures. So you need to have a good knowledge on data structures to join those companies, but you won't do anything with the data structures after joining it. So you just need to do some web development, or you will be doing something similar to that. You won't be going to build the next Google Maps, or you won't be going to build the next Chrome. So it is just the basics of computer science. So that's it. Okay, CTS and TCS, which is good. Okay, when both are service-based companies, so it is not about which company is good. Okay, so what you do in the company is what matters. Okay, so when you take like if you compare a service-based company with a startup, I would say you definitely go into startup. Okay, so if you compare CTS and TCS, the salary package might differ, this the environment might differ, but you will do the same thing. Okay, so you won't feel any difference at all working for CTS and other companies. Okay, since I'm going into CTS, but the only thing that I'm not sure if TCS has this, we don't have any bond in Cognizant. So that is another big advantage from other companies. So you don't have any kind of bond. You don't have to sign any agreement or something. You don't have to do anything of such kind. So CTS or DCS, it depends upon if you get better pay in TCS, then go for that. Or if you want to learn something, see, if you cannot compare two similar companies. Okay, so both get the same kind of projects, both have the same kind of clients as well. So you cannot compare CTS and TCS. So but people say that TCS is good, but it depends upon your what you want to do. Okay, so the company doesn't matter at all to me. To me personally, companies never matter. Okay, when you have the knowledge, when you have the feeling that you can do better, you don't want to stick with any company. Okay, when you start freelancing, you will realize that companies doesn't matter, and nothing matters much with you know you don't have to stick with any company. So exit test patterns for intern and pat, and are they protected? Number of attempts for both. How much can we get back if we claim? So you will get the entire thing. So you will they will pay only 10.8. You will get the entire 1.2k. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. You will get the entire amount. So and test patterns. So I'm not sure what they will do for the intern. So you will have a different kind of pattern this time. I'm not sure, since we had a ton of feedback last time, since we had some problem with their testing mechanism and their platform as well. So we have given a ton of feedback. and I think they might have improved. So it won't be useful that if I say what we had. So let me say what we had. Like we had several. We have three attempts to clear the final exams. Okay, so sorry, final assessment, and you will have some monthly assessment as well. Okay, so you have three attempts. So you have to complete that in the third attempt. So there is no other way. So you have to. No, I have seen people just going to the second attempt. So I don't see any people going to the third attempt. So you will get you will definitely clear the first attempt maybe if you're doing for doing your training good, then it is easy for you to crack that exam. So this time it might be not sure, since they have to manage ton of people, they cannot monitor everyone, but they might have some kind of software which kind of uh, you know it doesn't allow you to do any kind of malpractice. So another question is, okay, if you go for the intern in this semester, how can I finish my so that was a good question. So when you go for an intern, you have to complete your 8 semester. So some colleges, when we had our intern, some colleges they didn't have any projects. So they completed all their projects on seventh semester. They completed all their exams on the seventh semester, and they just come for the intern. Okay, so if you're those lucky ones, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just come to the intern, you enjoy, you learn, and then you get your full time. Okay, so if you're from the other side, okay, you have to complete your 8th semester project. Yes, it depends upon your college. Basically, you have to cope up with your curriculum. You have to complete your exams, and you have to complete your projects as well. So that depends upon your college, but if your college accepts, you won't be doing any hands-on projects. Okay, so you won't be doing any hands-on projects until you complete the intern. So when you are crossing certain limit, let's say you have crossed like 3 to 4 months of training, you have your final exams. Okay, so final assessment. So that will be a complete project. You have to do it alone. So that I don't think you have that much time to complete your projects. So you have to do your separate projects. So you won't Cognizant won't give you any projects unless and until, I'm not sure, nobody will get a project. Okay, so you will be doing complete, you will be undergoing complete training, so you won't be put into any projects, but you will be exposed to those, but you won't be developing something. But at the end of your intern, you have to do a project, and you will have a interview again you will have an interview process, and you have to clear that if you want to get your full time quickly. Okay, so if you clear that, you will get your offer quickly, or else you will it will get delayed until depends upon the performance of others. So that's basically it. So I think the most questions are answered. Let me check my LinkedIn again. I had few questions in mind. I'm not sure, I'm not getting it. Okay, so um okay. So one guy asked me this question. I'm not sure if it is relevant. So when I join as an intern, after getting into intern, can I join other companies? Okay. So it depends upon your college, rules, or they have some norms. So certain colleges don't allow you to join other companies after you get into some, after your college recruitment, campus recruitment, they would say. So if there is no norms of such kind, you can definitely join. There is no problem with Cognizant you going out after the intern. So once you complete the intern, you will be given a certificate, and you can just go ahead with other companies. There is nothing stopping you. So you don't have to compulsorily complete the intern and you have to join Cognizant. There is no any rule of that. The rule is that if you have your college has some norms, I think that you have to follow. Otherwise, company doesn't force you to join them, you know, back again as a full-time employee. So I think that's it for this time. I think we are crossing more than 15 minutes. Okay, guys, have a great day. Have a great week. I think that's it. I don't see any questions coming up in the chat. So I'll wait for another minute. If you don't have any questions, we will close it. So is 226K fixed, or can we exclude other compensation to get high in hand? You only get 2.5 per year. If no, the 1.2K is for the intern. Okay, so when you are in an intern period, your total compensation will be 12K. Okay, so in that they would give you just 10.8 per month, but you have to claim other 1.2 with returns. Okay, after you're joining as a full-time employee, you have two options. One, to pay your return IT filing by yourself, or else the company would do. So that depends upon your wish. You can do it either way. And I don't think you can exclude things and get a higher pay, but there is an there is some expectation. So you don't have you if you invest in some kind of funds, mutual funds or something, once you get into as a full-time employee, you will given access to those. You can invest in those kind of things. You cannot get anything in hand, but you can get exemption from the this IT. Okay, so you can get exempted. You won't get higher than 26K. So you can never expect if you exclude certain things like your healthcare or something, you won't be getting it. So it is mandatory that you need to apply for those. So you cannot skip any of those. But there is another possibility that if you invest in something like mutual fund or something of that kind, when you come to full time, you will get to know about those details. When you come to those, you can save your IT filing. So when let's say you are earning 4 lakhs. Okay, so you don't have to pay tax for all the 4 lakhs. You can save up to 2.5 if you use all the features or all the things that is given by Cognizant. Okay, so you only need to pay tax for the remaining amount. Okay, that is when you join as an full-time employee, you will get to know those kind of details. So I don't think that you can get into those details now, but that's it. That is it. You cannot do anything of that kind. Okay, then Udemy access. Yes, yes. You will be given free Udemy access. You can watch anything. You can register for any course. Everything will be free of cost. So that is the only good thing that you get with Cognizant. So you'll be given full access. You can register for any course. You can take up all the courses that is available on Udemy for free. You will get instant access though. I'm not sure you will get instant access on if you pay. I haven't paid anything, but you will get instant access once you register for the course, and you can start it right away. You don't have to wait for anything. So I think that's it. We'll close this call. It is getting to nearly a hour or so. Okay, then take care, guys. If you have any further more questions, please feel free to drop a message on LinkedIn. Okay, we'll take up those questions then, or you can drop the questions, or even on if you are into Instagram, you can drop that. I'd be able to answer those. Okay, guys, have a great day. Have a great week.